Welcome back to Shop Talk. I'm Riat Anwatco Trillo. Time now to talk about foreign exchange trading. And for that, we're joined by Mark Saw. He's the chairman of Businessmaker Academy. Mark is also the founder of Forex Club Asia. Hi, Mark. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, very briefly, what is the definition of Forex trading?
Well, very simply, Forex trading is buying and selling of currencies, such as the euro, the yen, the dollar, and profiting from the changes of the currency prices.
Okay. Is it more risky than other investments? Like, I was talking about trading in stocks earlier.
Yes, definitely. It's not for anybody. It's really more for the aggressive traders, because the volatility when you trade currencies is a lot more than trading stocks. The reason being it's currencies and it's very liquid. People can change their minds.
Right. So it's people, for investors who are willing to take the risk.
Willing to take the risk. So definitely. So it's not really for those who want to, like what you had a while ago for SICSEC, saving up for retirement.
Right.
It's really more for people who have excess cash, excess liquidity, and want to make more out of that. And here's the most important part. They must be willing to also accept losses with currency trading, because volatility in currencies is a lot more than just the normal investment.
Right. So you can win big and you can lose big. What are usually the currencies? What are the factors that move currencies usually?
Okay. Well, when you trade currencies, like any investment, you have to take consideration of three things. The three things would be, number one would be technical analysis, or how the movement of the price was before, studying of charts. The second thing is fundamental analysis, or what's happening in the economies of the world. And the third, and probably most important of all, is risk appetite. When I say risk appetite, it's, are people greedy for more money, or are they fearful and they're pulling out their money from investments? Right. So those are the three things that move the currency markets. Okay,
so looking at today's world, what would you say, if you're allowed to give away this information?
No, sure.
What are the good, currencies to invest in? You're looking at the U.S. economy. Their government is almost all borrowed out. How does that affect things, and what other currencies can you look at? Well,
the thing is, if you look at the world right now, the situation is inflation. When I say inflation, not just any inflation, hyperinflation. The reason being, China has a lot of, when you say inflation, increase of prices, labor costs, cost of materials increases. And as you know, China is supplying the world. Now, if China is supplying, let's say, Asia, and costs of goods from China are rising, then you need more money to pay for the same goods.
Right.
Based on that, you look at what you can do with your currencies. Right now, the dollar is not in a very good shape. Although past 2 weeks it's been rising a little bit, it's not going to rise for long. Why? Because the US dollar, as you said, they're all borrowed out. But more importantly, the US dollar has no intention of raising the value of its currency right now, because their economy is still in recovery mode. So the currency that I'm buying would be the higher risk in currencies. And these are Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, and Canadian dollar. I would not want to hold my money in Japanese yen or in US dollars, for that matter. So to answer your question, that's my answer.
That's a great answer. For the Japanese yen, is that because of the disasters, or also because of what's happening in their economy?
Yes. The disaster, which is an unfortunate incident, triggered a series of events. The thing is, with disasters, the country has to rebuild. And for Japan to rebuild, they have to print more money. It's as simple as that. And when you print more money, the value of that money will go down. And so if you are holding on to yen, then you may want to think about diversifying it into another currency or another asset class, whether it's stocks, real estate, or whatever. Because in the long term, when I say long term, I would say six months to about a year from now, it's not going to be going anywhere but steady or down.
Right. So you were saying you like the
Australian dollar,
the New Zealand dollar,
and Canadian dollar.
And Canadian dollar. All right. Okay. How does one get started in Forex trading?
Well, first thing that you have to do is practice first with a demo account. When I say demo account, you can trade the market, the live market, with fake money.
Oh, okay.
That's the.
So it's like a game.
It's like a game,
Yeah.
but you really see how volatile the market is and how fast you can make money and how fast you can also lose money. That's the first thing you want to do. Now, the second thing you want to do is you want to learn. You have to get educated before you trade. And I really appreciate what the CitySec guys want to do. They want to remove the thinking out of the equation, which is fine. Problem with Forex is that you have to really think about your next move. And not just one move, but several moves ahead. And to do that, you have to educate yourself. And so that's number 2. And then number 3, when you are ready to start with a live trading account, do not, and I repeat this, do not put in a big amount. And the amount that I would recommend is only $300.
$300 to start with.
To start with.
Okay, so that's less than 15,000 pesos.
That's about 13,000
Right.
pesos, more or less, based on the exchange rate now. Yeah.
Okay.
Even if you can afford more, just put in 300 because you're still starting out. You don't know what it's doing. Even if you're a veteran stock investor. In fact, if you are an experienced stock investor, the more you should put in a smaller amount in stock in currencies because
It's a totally different animal.
it's a totally different animal. The dynamics are very different. And when you talk about fast, you will see fast when you go into Forex.
Okay, you put a lot of emphasis on education. How can
Yeah.
people get educated about trading in this way?
Well, the way I started back in 2000 was I did it online and I self-studied. I don't recommend it for those who are not into like downloading ebooks and reading it on their own and trying to figure it out by themselves.
Okay.
That's why I created a community of live Forex traders and people who are going live. It's called forexclubasia.com. So they can actually go there and they can sign up for free. And I have some materials that they can get started off for free and to see if Forex is for them or not. Because as I said, it's not really for everybody.
Right.
Right. So start there. And then the steps I mentioned, the 3 steps, it's all outlined there. I mean, access to how do you get the demo account, it's there. How do you use a demo account, it's there. What do you need to know, it's there.
Oh, okay. All right. So when you start the demo account, how long should people do that for?
It depends. I do not recommend having a demo account for 2 years.
Okay.
Because that's way too long. Honestly, I've had a student who has been practicing with a demo account for 5 years.
And he's never really invested.
He's never really invested.
Okay.
So it becomes a redundant thing. I would suggest no more than 6 months.
Okay.
Because after 6 months, you're not learning anything anymore.
Okay.
So 6 months is the most. And but most of my students would take about anywhere from a week to about 3 months.
Okay.
Before they decide if it's something for them or not.
Right, right. Okay, speaking of your students, you have some seminars, right?
Yeah, I do.
Maybe you could tell us about those briefly?
Sure. First of all, I'm here because I'm going to be in Money Summit. There are 2 sessions. One is in Manila and the other is in Cebu. The one in Manila, I will not be there, unfortunately. I will be in Cebu.
Oh, okay.
So the Manila one, I think it's on the screen, July 22 to 23. And then in Cebu, it's August 12 to 13. I'll be in Cebu. But if you're not from Cebu or you want to take it earlier, then we do have some orientation classes. And again, it's free. So the orientation class is also on the website, Forex Club Asia.
Okay, excellent. Mark, so thank you for coming on Shop Talk.
Thank you very much.
All right, and thank you for watching Shop Talk. I'm Rieta Trillo. Follow ANC Shop Talk on Twitter and be a fan of ANC Shop Talk on Facebook. Join us again tomorrow as we talk about branding for SMEs. Enjoy the rest of your day.